What's up, crypto legends? The price of Bitcoin is getting squeezed right now inside of this larger pattern of a symmetrical triangle. It needs to be broken in less than 48 hours. We are going to talk about how you could possibly trade this just in case there is going to be fake outs or successful breakouts, how we can detect that breakout if it is going to be real or not. We're talking about the liquidity that is sitting at the $44,000 range. Are we just going to hit that liquidity and then come down to get the next liquidity sitting at the low 40K ranges? We'll be analyzing the situation here on what is likely to happen in the coming days. We're also taking a look at the higher timeframes to see, are we going to manage to reach $48,000 range before a huge major pullback? Because we're analyzing the situation here from previous cycles, of course, to see, that those pullbacks need to happen. We have rallied for the last few weeks massively with no big major pullback, and we are likely going to see it at some point in the next coming weeks. So we'll be analyzing the stronger support levels that could give us a great entry for the bull run that is ahead. So make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode. Let's dive in here straight into the price of Bitcoin, guys, because yes, we are forming a much larger pattern. It seems like that the bump and run scenario did not play out very nicely, getting very choppy action here. So overall, we are forming this much larger pattern here into a symmetrical triangle. Now, of course, is the price going to break to the upside or to the downside? We do not know, but we do have some certain levels where we know that if it is going to be a successful breakout, then continuation is likely. However, if we fake out and create a wick and a reaction at these levels that I'm going to mention, then obviously it is a reversal point. It will be a fake out. And how can we detect this? Now, at this moment, okay, I want to just zoom in on the higher time frames and let you understand that right now this price action is very confusing. There are several theories here. There's big, massive volume here to the downside. Could this just be the start of a big, major corrective move that could turn into a large ABC corrective move here, going to $38,000 and possibly even lower? It is definitely a possibility, guys. This is very disturbing to see this massive volume breakdown that has broken a little bit of the structure here of this uptrend. So we need to realize that, hey, maybe this is going to be a higher low created, a lower high, here created for then the price to get a much deeper corrective move. Now, of course, there is the possibility in attempting to break out this major resistance of lower highs. So we are going to detect right away what is the most important level to realize if it is going to be a successful breakout or a fake out. Because once the price attempts this breakout and fails this level that I'm going to mention, then obviously we are looking for that big reversal to come back down to retest the lows. Now, if you want to be ready to trade these setups, guys, you have the links down below in the description of Bybit and MEXC. Bybit is my favorite crypto trading platform. Been using it for over 4 years. You got a great bonus of $30,000 right down below in the description. And of course, if you cannot use Bybit because of restrictions, you got MEXC, which they have also an insane bonus. The links are down below, guys. Now, diving in right away here. Like I said, this could be a much wider ABC corrective move. We don't really know. There is a bullish count, of course, of this already being an ABC structure. On Coinbase, we did get a lower high right over here. So this could just be an average ABC or a flat in the case here of BTC US dollar pair on Bybit. And now, right now, we're just creating that impulsive move and we're just getting ready for the next impulsive moves here to go to much higher levels. Now, let's realize here, we just want to know where is the next trading setup, okay, inside of this range. Because of course, yeah, we'll be talking about higher timeframes in the next coming minutes, but what is the next trading setup that I can get in the next couple of days, right? Between Sunday and Monday, where the price can give us some very good profits if we know exactly where to enter. Well, of course, let's go in through here the scenario of the breakout to the upside. How do I know that this will be a successful breakout, if not a fake out, and we're going to come straight back down to test the lows right over here? Well, let's analyze the situation. I'm going to talk about the strongest level of resistance, and that is basically looking at this freshly printed daily level that we created just with today's open. As you can see right over here, let's mark that level as the daily right there, which is the daily close and open from yesterday. Really nice, fresh level that is in confluence with the resistance here of the lower high trend line. Now, that level, if hit in between today and tomorrow, is going to be that crucial point to know if this is a breakout or a fake out. The moment we start crossing that daily level, which is in confluence with the lower high resistance trend line, then of course we would be expecting much more price action to the upside. Of course, there is going to be a squeezed moment here because there is a possibility that we might just test those highs here from the last couple of days and create a swing failure pattern. So it's going to be a very skilled moment to get into some trades and realize where you can enter and where you can manage your risk. Because if you do move up here and you create a successful breakout, you start having some really nice volume. We know there's a bunch of liquidity here sitting at the $44,000 area. So is there a possibility to just wick above this level and start hitting some fib levels if we do get the pivot high here to the pivot low of the drop? Will we just hit the 7-8 Fibonacci, which is a very respected level? We did not reach it here on the pump on Thursday. So maybe we're hitting 7-8 Fibonacci, we're reaching this high, and we're creating an internal swing failure pattern to get a deep corrective move, just claiming that liquidity that is sitting above these highs right over here. So we're just probably just going to claim the liquidity and then get a pretty decent pullback. I think that this is a very much an acceptable quick short scalp scenario. This could be just a few minutes or even just a few hours that could get that pullback to come to retest this daily level or the lower high resistance trend line. Of course, this short position could be several $100s where we can profit from the market. It's a high confluence level as we do have the highs right there, the liquidity, and when the price claims liquidity, sometimes it's just a big wick and a quick rejection. So we know there's liquidity sitting at this $44,000 range that can be quickly claimed and get a pretty decent pullback, okay, coming all the way down to retest that daily and the lower high resistance as support. Something to be paying attention to. Of course, we do have a lot of resistance here from this consolidation, as you can see on the chart, where we do have the point of control sitting slightly beneath $44,000. So there is a lot of resistance. It's going to be very hard to know if this is going to be a successful breakout from this symmetrical triangle, and then we're going to just get that breakout, and then suddenly the price is going to get that bounce at support. Remember, it could turn into a fake out, and the fake out zone is just hitting slightly beneath $44,000 for a possible swing failure pattern. On the other side, we do get that breakout. If we do not reach that level, of course, of liquidity, we need to take advantage because we are very likely, okay, if we do get that high volume spike on the 5-minute, 15-minute breaking out nicely from that daily level, this daily level with the lower high resistance could be that support, and we could head here getting a really good entry, guys. Remember, we're not FOMOing in long positions here just in case it is a fake out. If the price is already getting near to $44,000, it is too late to long, in my opinion. This would be a dangerous long position just in case the price does reject from this high resistance zone, okay? So for that long position, we would want to get that flip of this support of daily and then obviously look to continue to the upside to see if we are going to manage to get above that high point of control volume node that we do have from this consolidation. If we get into that long position and we struggle very much to get above these highs and start rejecting, I'm going to say it is time to take profits from that long position, guys, because we are rejecting from this high confluence zone. So long, take profit only if we start rejecting. If we do not reject, then absolutely wonderful. We are looking to hit the highs and possibly go to higher levels where we can maintain that long position. Now, this is the resistance zone scenario. What about support? What about, hey, this does not look good. This does look like it could possibly be a much wider A, B, C corrective move, and we're going to get a large dip here to the downside. We are seeing some red flags here with a red volume here, of course, to the downside, breaking a bit of an uptrend parabolic structure. So yes, we're going to be extremely cautious. Longs are going to be very difficult to execute, as we could see that large momentum here to the downside. However, there is a strong level here that I'm looking at here where it could find some interesting support. That is basically the higher low support trend line here from this symmetrical triangle, which is basically in confluence with that point of control where we got a huge bounce when we got that drop here just on Thursday. And we could actually test that level, claim a bit of that liquidity beneath this low over here, and find support right there. Now, make sure to understand that if we do only get that reaction here and get a bounce above the level, the only long trigger would be above this low over here, realizing that the price has faked out. Only if it fakes out, we can possibly enter a long here, managing our risk with our stop loss, looking possibly for the high of the resistance to retest and maybe break, and we got ourselves into a really nice swing long trade. On the other side, we suddenly start breaking through here very aggressively. Of course, there is that liquidity sitting here at $40,500. There is a nice volume spike right there, as you can see on the heat map. And possibly we could just be claiming this low over here to claim that liquidity. So yes, this is also a long trigger right over here where the price could get an instant bounce from that level. Just claim the liquidity, hop into a long position only if it is going to get a recovery above the level. So this is the long trigger. We're not longing beneath the level, as it could be a successful breakout and the price is just moving to much lower levels. So of course, if we do have that high volume spike, then we get the fake out here, we get that swing failure pattern. We need to analyze very, very carefully this situation, because possibly the price is going to start hitting that resistance zone, point of control, potentially higher low support trend line, and we are going to reverse from here and get a huge major drop. Now, not usually when you break a pattern, the price gives you that opportunity. Usually when you break through aggressively with high volume, you're probably just going to get a quick instant bounce, and then you're going to start moving down aggressively. Remember, the drops usually are much more powerful than the pumps. When you get a drop, it goes and it goes. So possibly if you do get that bounce, okay, we're going to be analyzing very carefully, because it might be a fake out. We're getting back inside of the zone. And if we do get back above that point of control inside of the triangle, then obviously we would be looking for that continuation to the upside. This was just a liquidity grab, and we're heading up to higher levels. So we're looking at both scenarios, guys. It's not going to be easy, okay, to take decisions of entry of a long or a short based on fake outs or successful breakouts. However, we do have the levels, guys, marked up here. This is an instant short position if we do reject after that wick. Of course, we're going to be very defensive, because we could maintain support level here and go to higher levels. So we need to be very good and defensive with our entry points. Be defensive with your stop loss, just in case you get a bounce. Take profit if you react at the lower high resistance, okay, as support, and that daily. We're just going to have to be sniper traders and be very, very careful, okay? Realizing where the price can bounce and reject, so we can protect our positions and take profit at those levels where we do get the reaction. So very hard. I know a lot of people will be confused, but we need to be very careful with these levels, okay, that I've marked up here on the chart, to realize if it is going to be a fake out or it is going to be a successful breakout. Let's dive in right away here through the higher time frames and analyze the situation here, because yes, we are expecting that $48,000-$50,000 range. That is the 618 Fibonacci from all-time high to the lows here in November of 2022. It is the value area high from this trading range, looking at the Coinbase chart, and we got that high for a possible test and a swing failure pattern and get a much larger corrective move. We'll be analyzing very carefully on a higher time frame. This might not happen in the next coming days or even weeks if we do get that pullback, okay, on Bitcoin already going to the $38,000 levels. However, it is a level to take into consideration based on your portfolio, based on trading. If you start reacting at that zone, guys, remember what happened on the previous cycle, where that 618 Fibonacci from all-time high to the lows did get that heavy a pullback. So we know it's the most respected level, okay, on any asset, the 618 Fibonacci. We just have to realize what kind of consolidation reaction we get there, because it might be a good level to start thinking of taking some profits off the table, just in case that in the coming months to the halving, okay, in April of 2024, you could get that pretty decent pullback, okay, so we can get some cheaper Bitcoin. Now, taking a look at the higher time frame, we analyze here on the market cycles, looking at the halvings, okay? Obviously, after the halving, we should be expecting a pretty insane bull run. This is what usually happens. We also have the election year, and election years are good for stock market, for the market economy in general. Usually it is a good year when we do take a look at history. So 2024 election year, should be quite bullish for the markets. Maybe a recession. We're going to kick the can down the road till 2025 or 2026. Who knows, right? So speculating in a recession is just, I think is very, very bold. We've been expecting a recession for years. So maybe 2024 is not going to happen just yet, and we are going to see that runner here on the markets to the upside. However, Bitcoin has been pumping like crazy during the last few weeks, okay? Since October, we got into this massive rally, pumping over 70%, which is absolutely insanity, okay? Since October, in just a couple of months, we've pumped 70% on the price of Bitcoin. And usually with these major rallies, you usually get at some point some type of deep correction, especially before the halving. We can see here on the previous cycle, 2015, 2016, where we do get that major pullback after these major rallies. So that pullback of 10, 20, even 30% could be very much on the cards. And the strongest support level that I do see here, right, we're very close to the halving already, so it's unlikely, in my opinion, that Bitcoin is going to go sub $20,000. Especially after the halving. We're just running out of time here. So obviously those pullbacks, the strongest level that I do see here that is likely to hold is the $32,000 range. That is a level where I will be starting to buy quite a lot of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins, of course. There will be likely following that big major corrective move. That it would be the greatest buying point, okay, for me. Of course, I will be leaving some cash on the sidelines just in case you do break that level, because it could get very ugly. Now, that level, as it is also the value area low from the trading range of 21 and 22. So it is a very strong support resistance flip, as you can see. And that pullback would be pretty insane. A lot of people will get scared if you get that 25% pullback. I would just see it as a nice, healthy, corrective move, of course, just after the insane rally that we did have the last few months. So that level is the strongest support zone that should be holding very, very nicely. Maybe we're not even going to hit that level, but just in case, if we were to pull back all the way down there, we're likely going to get that reaction and get that bounce, okay, weeks after hitting that zone, if not days. So pay attention here. This is higher time frame levels, of course. This might not even happen during the next coming weeks, but it's something to take into consideration. On higher time frames, which is the strongest resistance for Bitcoin, it is that $48,000 to $50,000, which is the strongest support level. It is that $30,000 to $32,000 range here, as you can see on the chart. Not much more to be said on this video update. Hope you enjoyed here the technical analysis and what to expect here for Bitcoin on the lower time frames, how we could potentially trade this and manage our risk. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.